If you want to make Estonian flashcards, you need to watch this video. When you make a flashcard for an easy language, let's say Mandarin Chinese, you would have one word in Chinese and one word in English. Very simple language. Some languages like French will flex and brag about how many different verb conjugations there are, but all you need is the infinite to form all the other conjugations, because verbs are grouped into the first group that ends with ER or the second that ends with IR. Looking at the last two letters of the verb in infinite, you can easily form all of the hundreds of conjugations. And yeah, I know about the third irregular group, but I'm going to ignore that because it doesn't support my argument. But seriously, even the third group for most verbs in French, having the infinite is enough to form all the other conjugations. So when I'm making flashcards for Estonian, I said, I'm just going to use the infinite form. And that's the ma. And, oh, who are you? Ow, stop it. Ow, what the hell, who are you guys? Yeah, so I try to create cards with just the infinitive, and I found that I can't form the other conjugations. I can't find a consistent pattern between the different words. So in the end, I sat down, looked at multiple different conjugations, and I made flashcards with these conjugations, all of these words on a single side. This works for me, and I've been using it ever since. They might not be the most effective, but that's what I used. Speaking of verbs, there are phrasal verbs. Estonian has something similar, and English we have phrasal verbs. For example, the word look might mean to observe something with your visual organs. But if you say look up, you mean to search something in a book or online. Look into means to investigate. Look over means to quickly review something. Look out means to quickly check for immediate danger. Look up to mean to greatly consider someone. Look down on means to consider someone as inferior. Look past means to forget or forgive a situation. Look back means to remember something in the... Yeah, phrasal verbs suck. And we have them in Estonian. Oh, that's great. I love it. So what I do for these words is I put the particle in front of the verb conjugation to indicate this. Problem solved. Next category of flashcards are adjectives and nouns. I put them together because they have 14 cases. And I've decided to use these 5 cases, and you can see them on the sõnaverb here. These ones you can't form by just adding a single letter or 2 letters. That's why I've included them. And that's how I do adjectives and nouns. And lastly, any other verbs are just going to be a single letter. For example, adjectives or talking about frequency, 1 Estonian word, 1 English word. Very simple. Now, to address the issue, but there's too many words. No, not really. Here's my experience. As someone who's been making flashcards for almost 10 years, at the start of the first 100 cards, it took maybe 2 or 3 times longer than most cards. I spent more time typing out the cards, looking at the cards, repeating each word, and I'm doing this to try to find a pattern or try to see if I can remember another word with the same pattern. However, when I reach 500 words, I would say it's about 80% of the speed than compared to normal flashcards. In about 1,000 words, I would say it feels like normal speed. And the reason that I think is you gain this intuition and you start to see the same pattern over and over and over again. And you develop this ability to recognize which form the word is. And also you develop the ability to create all the other forms. So just push through the first 500 words and try it for yourself and see what happens. Just trust me on that. I also want to point to this article from Lingvist. It shows all the possible endings for each case. And you can clearly see the ones that are irregular. There's only a very limited number of letters each case can end with. I recommend looking through this a couple of times a month and try to notice the ending in other places like your flashcard or your textbooks. Okay, here are some tips or questions that I had when I'm making flashcards. First, pronunciation. Do you need pronunciation? For languages like English and French, where there is really complicated pronunciation rules, yes, you need it. But for Estonian, it's extremely phonetic. I mean, 99.9% of the words you just pronounce how it's written. Thank fucking God. Just keep in mind these 2 rules. Some words have Palatization, like the word for cat and bag, is not kas and kot, it's kais and koit. Secondly, if the singular genitive and the singular partitive are the same but not with the singular nominative, for example this word, then one of the letters would be pronounced a long consonant. Just listen to the examples here.
Till, tilli, tilli.
What about words with multiple meanings? For example, the word loud you will learn as table, so I made the card with the Estonian word on one side and the English on the other. Later I learned the word plank or board is also called loud. What I do is I add the new definition on the same card at the top and then reset the scheduling for this card so that it would be considered a completely new card. This way I would not have the cards with the same meaning, and assuming I've already learned loud as table, it wouldn't be too difficult to learn this new word. So you don't need to try to put all definitions at once, just pick the one you saw first in your textbook or TV show and then add the others if it comes up. Finally, there are also pre-made cards you can download for free. You can find them on the Anki website, link below, and you can simply just drag and drop them into your Anki and you can use it instantly. So that's it. Thanks for listening. Give me a like. I hope you can take something in this video to make your own flashcards, or you're a native speaker who likes to watch people suffer. I do that myself. See ya.